The reason the Manosphere exploded online is because a lot of men feel invisible. But the solution many influencers sell is a ranking system. Your worth becomes money, content, clicks, muscles, women. And when your worth depends on rankings, the moment life humbles you, your identity collapses. Real strength isn't dominance. It's internal stability. Welcome back to Walk With Me. This is a bonus episode addressing my understanding of what I've been thinking about with the Manosphere, and after watching the documentary Inside the Manosphere by Louis Theroux. You see, the Manosphere didn't appear out of nowhere. It filled the vacuum modern society created for men. So I want to talk about 4 things here to get some understanding. 1, what the Manosphere gets right. 2, why it goes wrong. 3, the deeper male crisis very few people are talking about. And 4, what healthy masculinity might actually look like. So what do you say about taking a walk? I remember a time when I thought I had it all figured out. I felt like the life of the party. My house was the party house. Everyone wanted to ride downtown to the clubs in my Acura RSX Type S. It was hot back then. Friends everywhere, women everywhere. Liquor flowing, fights breaking out everywhere. And honestly, some of those moments were incredible. But then came the quiet moments. And those moments were unsettling. There was this anxiety in the silence. Like if I really looked in the mirror, something just might break. Between the highs of that life were lows that took me into some of the darkest places inside myself. A silent cry for help I didn't know I needed, because I drowned it all out with external validation. The crowd, the attention, the noise. I was lost. And that brings me to something most people don't want to admit. The Manosphere resonates with millions of men for a reason. And if you can't acknowledge that reason, you can't understand the movement. A lot of men today feel lost. Evil? Maybe. Toxic? Oh yeah, sometimes. Lost? Definitely. For generations, men had very clear structures. Work, family, community, responsibility. You know where you stood and what your role was. But over the past few decades, many of those structures dissolved. Institutions weakened. Communities shrank. Mentorship disappeared. So what replaced it? Not much. So now you have millions of young men growing up without a roadmap for adulthood. And so the Manosphere steps into that vacuum and says, lift weights, be disciplined, take responsibility. On the surface, those aren't bad messages. In fact, some of them are necessary. Structure matters. Direction matters. Discipline matters. That's the part they get right. This is where things start to shift, though. Because the structure they build doesn't stop at discipline. It becomes something else. And here's my point. The moment self-improvement turns into ranking, something breaks. Your worth stops being intrinsic. It becomes comparative. The question stops being, am I growing? And becomes, am I winning? More money than him, more women than him, more followers than him, more dominance than him. And once you step into a ranking system, there is no finish line. There will always be someone richer, stronger, more successful, more visible. So your identity becomes fragile because it's no longer rooted inside you. It's rooted in metrics. And metrics fluctuate. Life humbles everyone eventually. Psychologists call this contingent self-worth, if you want to look it up. But honestly, you don't need the terminology. You've seen it before. The moment someone loses status, the entire persona falls apart. And that leads us to something deeper. Because the Manosphere didn't create the male crisis. It actually revealed it. The deeper crisis is not masculinity. It's male invisibility. A lot of men feel like no one sees them unless they are producing something, providing something, winning something. If you're not successful, strong, useful, dominant, you start to feel like you don't exist. And when someone grows up in that environment, they begin chasing value externally. The money, the women, muscles, status, validation. But external validation is like salt water. The more you drink, the thirstier you become. Because it never answers the deeper question. Am I enough without all of this? And that's the question many men never get the chance to explore. Healthy masculinity isn't weakness. And it isn't domination. It's stability. It's the ability to move through life with a grounded sense of self. To pursue excellence without tying your entire identity to the outcome. To build strength without needing to prove superiority. To face hardship without collapsing into shame or aggression. Real strength is capacity, the ability to hold pressure, to hold responsibility, to hold failure, to hold uncertainty without losing yourself. That kind of strength doesn't come from ranking systems. It comes from self-acceptance. Now, self-acceptance doesn't mean complacency. It means your worth is not up for negotiation. Performance matters. Growth matters. But they don't define your humanity. And the truth is, that's much harder to sell than dominance. You can't build a billion-dollar click industry on men who have built themselves from the inside out. But it might be a conversation we actually need. Because right now, society has created an insatiable hunger to constantly feel unsatisfied. And for many men, it presents a false choice. If you don't achieve every external marker of success, you are nothing. But the truth is something very different. Your value isn't something you earn. It is something you express. Remember that. If you are watching this video and you resonate with this, I want you to try an exercise. The concept is the sail and the anchor, like a boat. The sail is performance, our money, your gym PRs, your career status. It catches the wind and moves you forward, but it's subject to the weather. The anchor is your intrinsic worth, your internal alignment and nervous system capacity, and what keeps you from drifting when the storm hits. So the exercise, identify the borrowed identity. Write down 3 things you are proud of that could be taken away tomorrow. My job title, my bank account balance, my physical peak. The body check, somatic check. Close your eyes and imagine one of those things is gone. Notice where you feel the collapse in your body. Is it your chest, your stomach, your throat? I want you to take a nice reclamation breath. Inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4. Repeat this mantra here. I am the observer of success, not the success itself. Remember that. Take another breath and repeat it again. I am the observer of the success, not the success itself. The shift, you aren't reclaiming the money. You're not reclaiming the looks or the status. You're reclaiming the capacity to be the man who can generate that value regardless of the circumstances. So I'm curious, what you think? Does the Manosphere solve a real problem, or does it create a bigger one? Let me know in the comments. My name is Gio, and as always, thank you for the company.